Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to, Thursday, 20th of February. Welcome. And today, we are doing a stream watching and talking and gonna discuss Arsenal's finances. Champions League has been resulted. Arsenal have found out who they potentially can play or will they play. And of course, there are other bits and bobs teams that Arsenal could face in the future in the Champions League. And of course, some news regarding Arsenal, specifically Tomiyasu. Arsenal have posted financial growth again, to be honest. It feels like happens now every single year. We're gonna talk about that and some other bobs here or there. Now, first things first, I want to apologize for no streaming yesterday. Obviously, I scheduled the stream and everything. I was bound to go live, but obviously due to unprecedented circumstances and everything, I couldn't do so. So I rescheduled the stream for today. So we're definitely gonna talk about this today. And if everything goes according to plan, of course, today 8 p.m. UK time, there will be another stream. So for today, we're gonna look at things, as I said. So if you haven't already, smash the like button, destroy it, caress it, just hammer it, whatever, axe it, or whatever. Just do it. Takes 1 second, costs nothing, helps the algorithm, helps me out a lot. Also, if you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff. And leave your thoughts down in the live chat. And let's discuss certain things regarding Arsenal and regarding football in general, if there are any thoughts you want to know from my end and other things. So, first things first, what we're gonna do is gonna talk about Champions League. We're gonna talk about Champions League first, and obviously 4 games happened on Tuesday and 4 games happened yesterday on Wednesday. So on Tuesday, AC Milan got knocked out by Feyenoord. They basically shot themselves in the leg. Theo Hernandez, like an idiot, got a red card. Second yellow was for diving and everything, and Feyenoord advanced. In other news, Club Brugge, Belgian team, broke about 15-16 game losing streak for Belgian teams in Italy, and Atalanta got knocked out quite strongly as well. You wouldn't expect that from last year's Europa League winners, of course. Bayern Munich advanced, barely advanced in injury time in the last seconds of the game. They scored a goal against Celtic and they advanced. And of course, Benfica played a very exciting game. I was watching that game. I was watching Mika Biereth and everything. It was a phenomenal game to watch yesterday, and they basically advanced through as well. And if we look at yesterday's games, of course, before that, big up Kwame, big up my guy, big up. I was bound to go live yesterday, but my missus was feeling quite a bit under the weather, so I basically, obviously, family comes first, health comes first, and all of those instances. So basically, what I did was I scheduled the stream, of course, for yesterday. Unfortunately, my missus took a bit of a health issues and everything, so I basically took care of her. And I prioritized that and rescheduled stream for today. So I'm very sorry if you were I'm sorry if you were expecting a stream yesterday and it didn't happen. I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, I'm good. My missus is also good. She felt better today and she went to work as well, so happy that she's doing very well as well. Now back at Marathon, Dortmund played 0-0 draw against Sporting Lisbon, which is a kind of a shock given that they won 3-0 away, and yeah, they advanced through quite easily. PSG absolutely annihilated Brest, 10-0 on aggregate, and they advanced through as well. PSV kind of shocked the world. You can't say even shocked the world because Juventus have been very average this season, I'm not gonna lie. They took a 3-1 loss in extra time to Juventus. They came back from being 2-1 down after the game in Turin, and they won 3-1 and they advanced through as well. And Real Madrid 3-1 against Man City. Mbappe scored a hat-trick and they move on. Obviously, with Real Madrid and the pedigree they have in Champions League, pretty much betting against them, it's one of the dumbest things you can do, of course. But these games, quite directly, some of these impacted Arsenal. We talked just about that Feyenoord eliminated AC Milan, and Feyenoord is one of the teams, and PSV, who beat Juventus now, is the other team Arsenal could face in round of 16. Now the question is, which one will it be? Basically, it's gonna go two ways. We can go either in one bracket or the other. The first bracket basically means that if we draw PSV in the next round, we could face the winner of Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid or Leverkusen draw winner. So it will be very interesting. It could actually come to a point where Arsenal face Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid in Champions League quarterfinals, which obviously, that is something I would love to see. I would love to see us play against Diego Simeone. I would love to see us to play against Ancelotti. Two of the managers I would love to have at Arsenal, but every single Arsenal fan I've talked to predominantly has said, most of the Arsenal fans I have talked to has said they both are washed, they both are useless, and Arsenal would not do good under them. So that would be pretty interesting. Plus, I'm sick and tired of facing the same teams every single time. It's always Bayern Munich. In the last 2 years in Europa League, also in Champions League group stages last year, we faced PSV. So I would much rather face obviously Feyenoord. Now that comes again with a bit of a twist in that regard. But yeah, if we could actually face, we could basically either Inter is gonna draw PSV or Arsenal. The draw I think is on Friday if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But Arsenal versus PSV could be a thing again. And if Arsenal progress through from this bracket specifically, we could be facing Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid or Bayer Leverkusen. After that, obviously, it's a coin toss. Interesting game could happen in the bracket that PSG could face Liverpool or Barcelona as well. Now, but as I said, there are two brackets with potential outcomes. And here is the second one, which is a bit more interesting. Let's just put it that way. If Arsenal draw Feyenoord in the round of 16, and if we progress through, right, we could face either Bayern Munich once again. It feels like we cannot escape them any single season. Every time we are in Champions League, feels like we are facing Bayern Munich. And this is another one of those teams I just wish we could just avoid. For sole reason that obviously we get pumped by them every single time, that's one thing. But other thing is that we face again the same team every single time, just like the same thing I said about PSV. But either we face PSV now and then we face a team we haven't faced at all or in a very long time, or we face ultimately Feyenoord now, and if we progress through, there's a chance we face again Bayern Munich. That is the big issue here. But yeah, if we basically draw Feyenoord in the draw, if we progress through, we're gonna basically face either Bayern Munich or Leverkusen or Atletico Madrid. So basically, looking at these two draws for Arsenal specifically, we can basically combine them into one. It's inevitable that Arsenal could face either Atletico Madrid or either Leverkusen. That's pretty much a guarantee to some extent, if they go through as well together with Arsenal. Now, on the other hand, we could either face Bayern Munich if they beat one of those teams, or we could face Real Madrid, which would be kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, we haven't played Real Madrid for the longest time. If you recall, the last time we faced Madrid, it was kind of interesting one, wasn't it? So I guess it is what it is. Yeah, big up Pepper, big up my guy, Breakfast Live locked in, big up Coffee Gang and all that stuff. So yeah, Liverpool can be caught in my opinion. Aston Villa drew against Liverpool yesterday, which obviously is an advantageous situation for Arsenal. Now, of course, if we want to basically go for the title, we have to beat, first of all, West Ham on the weekend. Now, the big thing is, last year when we faced West Ham, we all saw what happened. We pammed them away, and at home, we saw what happened. So, yeah, we cannot count our chickens just yet, basically. And Bayern Munich feels like it's our bogey team. We get pammed 10-2 on aggregate and everything. We remember those days. And last year as well, to be honest, we had, as Arsenal fans, Top Gooners want to say, best Arsenal team in the last, I would say, decade, a bit more, 15 years. And obviously, I can see a reasoning why. At the same time, we faced arguably the worst Bayern Munich team in the last decade, last 15 years to some extent. So basically, if our best team in the last 10-15 years cannot win against the worst Bayern Munich team in the last 10-15 years, it is a bit of a rough one, let's just put it that way. But ultimately, we'll see how that goes. It's so frustrating that I can see Liverpool dropping so many points, but that is the big thing. That is the big thing for me. I 100% guarantee you that Liverpool will drop points. Liverpool dropped points yesterday, let's be real. But the issue is, Arsenal will drop points as well. The question is, will we be dropping points at the same rate, or will we capitalize on them dropping points? Because if we basically, Liverpool drop points and we win, and the next game we play on Wednesday, we, for example, draw against Nottingham Forest, Liverpool wins their game, it means nothing. It becomes a moot point. It averages each other out, and we are again in the same distance as we were before. So basically, what we need at the moment, that it's an 8-point gap at the moment from Liverpool, it's a 8 points. It's 8-point gap. It's a 3-game swing. So basically, what needs to happen at worst is Liverpool basically lose 3 games and Arsenal win 3 games. So we are just even or at 1 point ahead. And with 13 games to go, it is a bit of a tough task. Obviously, last year, around the same time as it's happening now, late February, then March, April, Liverpool capitulated. We saw that last year. They were close to us until that point, but then they dropped points, dropped games, and everything. The question is, what's going to happen this year, basically? Because Arsenal have issues, massive issues. Liverpool don't have them to some extent. Liverpool don't have those issues. Last year, the roles were reversed. Arsenal did not have any issues, and Liverpool had issues, so they capitulated, obviously. Now, the question is, will Arsenal capitulate, and how will Liverpool use their advantages they have right now? Obviously, both teams are still in Champions League. Liverpool still has Carabao Cup final and everything, and they are pretty much in all the... Oh no, they lost to Plymouth, so they're not in the FA Cup, but they have the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle. So it will be interesting to see how they will manage that. The only difference from Liverpool and Arsenal is they have quite much better attack than Arsenal, let's be real. But their benches also has more depth than Arsenal's. And that, I think, could play a very big and massive role in terms of title race and everything. So, time will tell. It's 8 points now. If we win, it's gonna be 5, which would be fantastic, let's be real. If we win against West Ham, it would be fantastic. 5 points, it would be fantastic. But again, Liverpool need to drop points somewhat consistently. And Arsenal need to capitalize on that every single time Liverpool drop points. And obviously, Liverpool have a bit of a tough schedule right now, about 3-4 games. With 10 games to go, it will be the real race, in a way. And Arsenal as well. Arsenal also have 7 games left. The biggest thing about this is, though, is that Liverpool have them in a big... combined, back to back to back, and then they have easier schedule till the end part of the season. Arsenal have these games scattered around. We play Chelsea then, Bournemouth then, Nottingham Forest then, United then, of course, and the last 3 games of the season are Liverpool away, Newcastle at home, Everton away. 3 teams we struggle against immensely. Because we haven't done anything against Newcastle in the last 3 games this season. Away at Liverpool, we haven't won in 12, 13 years, of course. And Everton away, in general, is a tough place for us to go. We always struggle there. So it's gonna be a rough one, 100%. We don't even need a run of 7-8 games in a row. We pretty much need to win every single game till the end of the season. Because 8-point gap is a 3-game swing. And if we look at your 7-8 wins in a row, it's not enough, in my opinion. Because if it's a 3-game swing, that leaves 10 games. Let's just say Liverpool now lose 3 games, Arsenal win 3 games. Arsenal are ahead of by 1 point, and there are 10 games left. And we still have to face each other. And Liverpool overall towards the end part of the season has a bit easier schedule. That for me is a big, big issue. I believe that in the theoretical event that we win every game and draw at Anfield, yeah, in that regard, I think we definitely will. If we win every single game till the end of the season and Liverpool draw, and we draw against Liverpool, yeah, I think we win the league. Because I can see Liverpool dropping more points. The thing is, can we see Arsenal winning every single game until the end of the season? That for me is the big question. Exactly, we must grab the opportunity, but we haven't done this before, and that for me is a big issue. Because Arsenal have made this very difficult for themselves. When I talk about Arsenal, I regard shooting themselves in the foot all the time. Because even if Liverpool drop points and we capitalize on one weekend, Arsenal basically make it a moot point, irrelevant, the next weekend when Liverpool win and Arsenal again lose or draw, and the gap goes back up. And that is the biggest thing. We need a string where Liverpool drop points and Arsenal just win. If we beat West Ham and gap is 5 points, technically all that separates us is 5 points is 2 game swing. 2 wins basically, because 1 draw and a win, yeah. Technically, all that separates us a draw and a win at Anfield. That would be 4 points. Oh, if you mean if we don't draw, yeah. If Liverpool needs to lose and draw against us, and we need to win and draw against Liverpool. It's a rough one. Exactly, we need to be pitch point perfect. Genuinely, pitch point perfect. And that's the biggest issue. I don't see it happening. That for me is the biggest drawback in all of this. I don't see this happening to that extent because based on what we have seen years before, it is very, very questionable and tough decision we could make in that regard. We can beat Liverpool at Anfield. We thought we can beat Liverpool at Emirates as well, but we didn't do that. We drew. And we haven't won at Liverpool at Anfield for 13 years. That is a quite long thing, way overdue. Let's just put it that way, since we have done it there. But yeah, it's a rough one. It's gonna be a rough one, especially towards the end part. Last game of season is Southampton, not Everton. My bad. If basically Arsenal's schedule till the end of the season is basically looking like this. Let me fix this bit right here. Let me fix it like that, so it's a bit more visually pleasing. Basically, yeah, as you can see, we have to play West Ham, which should be a win, which genuinely should be a win no matter what. But we last year said the same thing in December, and we lost 2-0 against them. Even though we pammed them 6-0 at London Stadium, we lost to them at home. And that for me is the biggest worry. Can we sustain keeping clean sheets, not conceding, given that our attack has issues? Because we are not as dangerous to score the goals at the same rate as we were, for example, when Saka was still in the team, of course. And even to some extent Kai Havertz, let's be real, and Martinelli. So that for me is the big thing. Our defense needs to step up massively. Exactly. West Ham shouldn't be difficult. But last year we said the same thing, and we saw what happened in December when we lost to them 2-0. Could have been 3-0 if Raya didn't save the penalty. That is the big thing. It's a 5-point gap if we beat West Ham and be level on games. Exactly, it's a 5-point gap then. And Arsenal have to place Nottingham Forest away before international break. Let's be real, going to Forest Park, it will be hell on earth for Arsenal, given how they play. United away, no matter how awful United are straight after international break, it's gonna be hell on earth once again. It genuinely is gonna be hell on earth once again. No matter how bad United are during the season and everything, somehow we always tend to struggle against them away. Always, no matter what happens. Chelsea at home, again we should be winning. We usually do well against them at Emirates, but again, it is what it is. See, this kind of attitude I hate, because this is cockiness. I get that. I totally get that they are peanuts. But history has taught us this, that no matter how bad United are doing in the season, we tend to struggle against them away, no matter what happens. And it could be a draw, it could be a narrow win. Yes, a win, great, fantastic, but we tend to struggle at them. It won't be as easy as people make it out to be. Let's just say that like that. Because we have lost them twice at the Emirates, by the way. At the Emirates we have lost to, we drew against them, and we beat them on corners. Yeah, we beat them on corners, and we lost to them at Emirates. At Emirates, we shouldn't be losing against them. And we have much weaker squad than we had it back then. That is the big thing. We beat them 2-0 solely on corners. Because from open play, we did nothing against them. It was solely on corners. And now think about it. When was the last time Arsenal even scored a corner, a free kick? It feels like it's been a century. A light year, basically, away. That's how long we'll be waiting for another free kick goal, set piece goal. Not even talking about direct free kicks and everything. We can say it's all peanuts, but it's, in my opinion, it's not the case. I much rather be more cautious than be more cocky. Chelsea at home. We should be doing good. We genuinely should be doing good against them at home. Brentford at home, it's a mix and match, obviously, but we should be winning them. Ipswich away could be a rough one. Could be, depending on situation. It generally could be a rough one. Crystal Palace at home should be a win, but then again, Bournemouth at home is the interesting one, because Bournemouth at home should be a winnable game quite easily. It should be a winnable game quite easily, but will it be? That again is the big question. Then Liverpool away. This is the last 4 games for Arsenal this season are not that easy as people make it out to be. Because for me, the way I see this is the fact that playing, let's just say, Southampton on game week 38 away is 10 times more difficult, especially if the title would be on the line, than playing, for example, Southampton game week 12 away. 10 times more difficult just because of the pressure, the mental pressure that it puts on the players and on the team and everyone. Because we know that under pressure, overall, we tend to fall. Let's be real. Yeah, last year we folded in the first half of the season. Let's be real. But overall, we tend to fold under these big pressure situations, and that's what's a big, big worry. The Bournemouth home game, yeah, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. We struggle against Bournemouth at home, don't we, in general? Yeah, but we should still win that. We still should win that. Exactly, Southampton game is very hard. People say, oh, it's gonna be easy, we're gonna beat them, we're gonna smash them, they are already relegated. But for Arsenal, exactly as Pepper is saying, first of all, it's a bogey team for us. We remember what happened 2 years ago against them away. We all remember that very, very vividly, let's be real. And again, the pressure comes into play. The pressure comes into play because Southampton, if they are relegated, will likely will beat by then. They don't have to basically do anything. They can play relaxed, chilled, with no basically worries about making errors, because they will make errors, let's be real. But there is no pressure. For Arsenal, it could be everything on the line in that game. Everything on the line. And that is a big, big issue for me as well. And the pressure will be a tough part for Arsenal. Even if they are relegated, exactly. Having an away game last game of the season is not ideal too, exactly. Because last year we had a home game, right, against Everton. And we won. And even then, it was a very rough game to win, even though it was at home. And now we're going to go away, and it's going to be tough. Brighton is more of our bogey team. To be honest, for Arsenal, the way we are moving, and they are looking at Arsenal, pretty much almost every single bottom side team that we play away is our bogey team. Because we have seen this over the years. Remember last year how we played against Luton? 2 years ago against Southampton, against Everton, against Burnley, against all these teams. We tend to struggle quite heavily. The bogey teams are rough ones. Yeah, and Fulham, exactly, Fulham as well, by the way. And we play Fulham on April 1st. April Fools is everything. I hope Arsenal don't turn into jokers. Because April 1st, April Fools, we're gonna get trolled if we lose. And remember how last year we played against Fulham? Even this season, how it went against Fulham at Craven Cottage. And this year, and last year, we drew to 10-man Fulham at home, by the way, we drew against them. Again, it's again raising more questions than answers. The Marco Silva has done a fantastic job. Emil Smith-Rowe is balling for them as well, by the way. So it's gonna be rough. Newcastle at home I'm not looking forward to that one single bit. Because when Arsenal went through in FA Cup against Crystal Palace, no, in Carabao Cup, sorry. In Carabao Cup when we went through, and I knew that we could draw basically Liverpool, Spurs and Newcastle. First thing that came out of my mouth was, I don't want Newcastle whatsoever. Obviously, surely but enough, we drew Newcastle and we lost 4-0 on aggregate, doing nothing against them pretty much the both games, especially the away game. The way we played at St. James Park, it felt like basically Newcastle was the team that was 2-0 down. That was the big, big issue for me. And so I'm very worried about that game. Very, very worried. So I'm not sure what to expect, but it's gonna be a very tough. They're saying that Saka might be back on April Fools. That is basically an April Fool's joke. Because if Saka is back, oh God, oh Lord have mercy. I don't want to see Bukayo Saka back till the end of the season for next season. I'm gonna be honest with you. You may hate me for this, and you may crucify for me this in the chat, in the comments. I don't care. But I don't want to risk Bukayo Saka being rushed back now and getting a 10 times worse injury just so to the fact that we basically are still in a title race, and Arteta basically wants to put it all on the line. He basically would be risking Arteta's career, Saka's career in that regard. He did that with Jesus in the 22-23 season. He got injured with Brazil in Qatar. He had a surgery on the knee. We rushed him back, and sooner rather than later, he meshed up the same knee once again, and he needed another surgery. So I don't want to see the same thing happen to Bukayo Saka. Let's be real. I remember 2 years ago on April Fools we beat Leeds, then Teta dropped Trossard and we started dropping points. Remember? Trossard, when he just joined in January, was phenomenal. Let's be real. Coming on as a sub, even starting, he was scoring, he was assisting, he was putting in man of the match performances. Arteta drops him instantly. Same happened with Emil Smith-Rowe, by the way. He was putting in man of the match against Luton, gets dropped for the rest of the season. Like, it's I don't know. It's that manager is just out there on some level. We were right not to want Newcastle, but most top Gunners were crying out to get... Exactly. The first thing I thought when in that cup draw, I said, I don't want Newcastle whatsoever. Because based on how we had played 2 years in a row at St. James Park, that we had one shot on target in 2 years, I pretty much knew that going to St. James Park, if we don't win at Emirates, or even draw at Emirates, by the way, we are going out. And soon enough, we lose 2-0 at home, then we lose 2-0 at St. James Park, and let's be real, the game at St. James Park would have finished about 5-0, given the chances and how lucky we got. So, I guess it is what it is. They don't know football. I prayed hard we got Tottenham in the semis. Exactly. Even Liverpool would have been better. Let's be real, even Liverpool would have been better. But because against Liverpool, we actually can play football because they allow us to attack, because they are attacking themselves. They are not a team that's going to basically try and ruin our style, because Eddie Howe knows how to basically stop Mikel Arteta, how to stop his tactics and his ideas. Because he knows that Mikel Arteta 9 times out of 10 has no plan B or C or how to counter his tactics. And he played it to a T. Against Spurs, against Liverpool, we could easily play it. Against Newcastle, that was the issue we had. And we obviously got it. Imagine the scenes if Arteta rushes Saka back on April Fools and he goes off with a hamstring. Exactly. That will start riots. That generally could start massive riots and even some altercations in the stands after the games and everything. That is the big thing, and I don't want that. I generally don't want that. One injury, one wrong turn for Bukayo Saka if he's rushed back a bit sooner than he should be, and he's done. Mikel Arteta, April Fools, you're the biggest. How about May return for Saka as well? May return... Nah. No. I can see him coming back in May. I can see that solely because the closer we gonna be back, the closer we're gonna be to Liverpool, the bigger chances that Mikel Arteta is gonna have the urge to rush Saka back. Obviously. Given especially our attacking issues and everything. So, it's gonna be... I don't want to even see him back in May. Because for me, there's also a big difference to being fit and being match fit. Because you can be fit all the time, but if you cannot play in the games or you basically have a step of the game, you're instantly done. Wrong tackle by opposing side defending against Saka, as they like to basically destroy him on the pitch, and he could be out for another year. He might turn into Tomiyasu. That is also a big issue. We're gonna speak on Tomiyasu in a second. Who should we sign in the summer? Well, we need a striker, we need a winger, left winger, we need a number 8, we need a number 6, we need a goalkeeper, we need a backup for Odegaard, we need a backup for Raya and Saliba. That's 8. We need about 10 players in general to have even depth in the team. And if we include outgoings, then about 10 to 11 players sounds about right, but Arsenal will never going to sign 10, 11 players. They're not going to do what Nottingham Forest did and sign about 20 players in one window or 30. They're never going to do that. We need quite a lot, to be honest. And I'm not talking just in the first team perspective, I'm talking as a whole squad. Because to win a title over 38-game season, we need a squad. What Arteta has is starting 11, basically. Maybe we have 1-2 subs, but overall he just has a starting 11. He doesn't have a full squad. Because half of the players, if not more, that sit on the bench, don't even play. Half of them are left backs, other half are just under 20s, and that's about it. And exactly, Saka should make a comeback next season. Exactly. I have a suggestion to help Saka and protect him. Play Saka as a 10 and Wanjeri on the right. He's not dropping Odegaard though, so that falls flat on the ass quite instantly. Playing as a 10, you don't get the same tackles as you're playing on the wing. But the thing is, the fact remains, he is Bukayo Saka. And he is one of the big names in Premier League. So no matter what happens, he's gonna get done over with tackles in general. It's either it's gonna be a left back or a center back, or it's gonna be a center back and a number 6 or an 8, or even left back cutting inside to help defend Bukayo Saka. Either way, he's gonna get fouled quite a lot. That is the big and in transition it could be even rougher. Xhaka came back 3 months earlier from an ACL 3 years ago. Dude. Comparing Xhaka to Saka, that's actually kind of nuts. Because the way I see this, Saka is irreplaceable in this team. This team is solely built around Bukayo Saka. Granit Xhaka was just a replacement to some extent. He'll get fouled less, I believe. He's not boxed. Yeah, that is the case. That is the case. Even in a mid-low block, he won't be as boxed in, but he's gonna get hacked. And there are two ways basically he might get injured from tackles. Either there's a one big tackle in terms of strength and power, or it could happen over just the volume of attack hits on him, tackles, about 5, 6, 7 in a row to the same spot, especially. It also could go south pretty quickly. And now, for a quick side note, obviously we go against Liverpool in a title race, so let's look at Liverpool's schedule as well. So, give me a sec. Here we go. So, Liverpool's schedule for the rest of the season. They play Man City on the weekend, which is a big one. I kid you not, that is a big one. That is a big one, I'm not gonna lie. Then they play Newcastle. See, these 3 games that Liverpool have, Villa away, City away, although they do well against City away, usually, and Newcastle at home are the rough ones. Then they have Southampton, which basically are their clients at Anfield. Cup final, which will be interesting, of course. Everton at home should be, I don't want to say easy, but for Liverpool it should be a case, although Moisey could do some magic. Fulham away, although it's going to be a rough game, they should get the job done. West Ham at home should be easy. Leicester away should be easy. Then they play against Spurs at Anfield, and that as well should be easy. And then at the end of the season, they play Chelsea away. And Chelsea are in a free fall, so Liverpool should be beating them. It's going to be a rough one, but they should. Then there's the big one, of course, at Anfield against Arsenal. That, I think, could decide everything. Brighton away, that could give us some glimmer of hope, depending on the situation in the league. And Crystal Palace at home. On the last game week, they played the game at home. That is the big thing. Arsenal played the game away. Even though it's just Southampton, it will be pain. It will be hell, and it will be rough. Let's just put it as it is. Say it pound per pound. I much rather play Crystal Palace at home or Southampton at home than play them away. Let's be real. And Liverpool played them at Anfield. And especially if there's, let's just say for the sake of an argument, 2-point difference. Let's just say Arsenal are second, 2-point gap to Liverpool, right? The atmosphere at Anfield will be insane, to say the least. Emirates won't have the same atmosphere. They won't have the initiative to push fans as players as much forward, in my opinion. Another point might be controversial, but I don't think Saka's injury is due to be... I don't think as well is due to being tackled. I strongly believe it's not about the tackling as well. I never said that. I strongly believe it. I think it's down to amount of running. Exactly. In the system and the number of minutes played from... exactly. That for me is the big thing. That for me is the thing, that he doesn't have a backup. He doesn't explore to signing a right winger. Now he has lucked out with Wanjeri, which basically means Arsenal will save some money not signing a right winger, because technically Wanjeri will play as a backup now. And it's sure for the fact that he has to basically play as a wing back. He has to bomb up the field and bomb down the field all the time. Attack, defend for the full pitch all the time. Up and down, up and down, up and down. For about 5 years straight, 5 years straight, with no backups, no substitutions, no replacements. It's down to that. It's nowhere near down to tackles. Obviously, tackles and everything plays a bit of a part in this, but compared to the sheer amount of work he's doing every single game, I would say tackles are about 2% of all the 100% reason why he's injured. I think the rest of the 98% are due to Mikel Arteta and his inabilities and incapabilities to sign a backup, to sub him, to rotate and do everything. Because there was no need to keep him on for 80 minutes against Lons when we were beating them 5-0. There was no reason to sub Saka on against Preston when we are winning against them 3-0. And it's countless games. Last year, West Ham as well, 6-0 up, and he's still playing. Like, what the fuck is that about? The physicality of tackles more a game is not what it used to be. I believe that most... And yeah, for him it's overwork 100%. Obviously, tackling plays a bit of a role, but not as big of a role as people are portraying, per se, and not as big of a role as people would make you believe. Because, let's just say, if Bukayo Saka would get tackled in the same way as Roy Keane used to do it when we played at, just say, Man United, right, back in the day, it would be genuinely insane. It would be nuts for him there. I don't like Arteta, but he's pushing a healthy Liverpool stacked team with injuries to a tile. To some extent. But again, we shouldn't be in a situation where we push an opposing side to win the league. We should be winning the league. Because the whole time when we were finishing second to City, we got told by Top Gunners, Arteta only fan accounts, Arteta Sexuals and everyone, that this team is in prime position to win the league when City drops off. When City has a meltdown in the team, when they cannot pick up points, or when they have basically inevitably a slump where we finish top 4, at best third, at worst third and everything. They are doing that right now, right on the spot in front of our eyes. Oh wait, now Liverpool is ahead of us. Let's be real. Liverpool is ahead of us. And the biggest thing is, people make it out like Slot inherited a toxic squad like Arteta did. He didn't. Let's be real. Klopp left, he came in. He didn't sign anyone, by the way. Arsenal have managed to sign some people. He didn't sign anyone. Well, Chiesa technically, but hey. And everything. But the biggest advantage, I think, for Slot and Liverpool that they have over Arteta, I'm not talking about the players. I'm not talking about the club in general. I'm talking about the mentality. Because Slot has won titles with Feyenoord. And in Liverpool's squad, they have winning players. Serial winning players who have won Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, Cups. Because they have loads of those. And they have them in the key positions of the team, let's be real. They have them at the center back in Van Dijk, they have the goalkeeper, they have an attacker in Salah, and they have proper winners. And Gakpo, I think, as well, maybe won something with PSV, if I'm not mistaken. So they have winners in their squad in general. Let's not kid about ourselves. Arsenal don't have that mentality and those type of players in the team. Who? Kai Havertz? Jorginho? No. Have a nice day, Kwame. Big up for dropping by. Have a nice day. Anyways, from this talk, let's move on to some other discussions, basically. Let's talk about this dude. Takehiro Glaciasu. No kneecaps and all that stuff. Oh my god. Basically, a few days ago, it was reported that he will need another surgery. Give me a sec. He will need another surgery, and that will sideline him for extended period of time. And it has happened. Apparently, he is out till the end of 2025, pretty much. Which is quite nuts, because he's been out for 8.5 months already. 8.5 months already. He has played 6 minutes in 8.5 months, and now he's gonna miss another year, pretty much. No, 8 months more. 10 months more almost. So he's gonna miss more than a year and a half, just due to the fact that he had an injury. He didn't recover. He got the same injury, and he needs another surgery. So basically, he's just, well, who? He's basically Arsenal world-class champion in hide and seek. Because nobody can find him. Some of the Arsenal fans 100% have forgotten he even exists with the team, by the way. can guarantee you that, man. I've been in live chats, I've been on streams, podcasts, and everything. People are saying, I totally forgot he still plays for Arsenal. To be honest, rightly so, because we haven't seen him a single bit. Exactly, who is this brother? Exactly, and with Liverpool, it goes back to what Rodri said about Arsenal. It's the mentality. Hey, exactly, it goes back what Rodri said. It's about the mentality at the end of the day. And Arsenal, unfortunately, don't have that. Unfortunately, Arsenal do not have that. That is the big pain and shame in all of this. But the biggest thing about this is, though, Tomiyasu, we cannot even sell him because he's going to be injured. Who will want to buy an injured player who will not play for more than half a year when you sign him? That is the big thing. He is, even if we manage to sell, if we put him up for sale, who will want to buy a player who cannot play till the end of the year in summer, like half a year? Who? Which team? He's on 100 bags a week, or even if not more. Who is gonna buy him? Like, give me a realistic team that's gonna buy him. Let's be real, nobody. Which again means that at best we either gonna keep him or we gonna sell him in January. Well, try at least. And who's gonna buy him in January? Or next summer? Like, Arsenal have totally messed everything up. We have made our team, in a way, worse. We have more injury-prone players than you can imagine. Because back in the day, right, we used to have about 2, maybe 3 injury-prone players. Now we have half the squad injury-prone. Jesus, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Partey. Technically, Tierney, even though Tierney has been less injured than Tomiyasu, than Partey, Jesus, and all of them, man, and everything. It's actually kind of nuts. We have a handful of players that are injury-prone at Arsenal. And if you put their wages cumulatively together, they together earn about $1 million a week. $1 million a week! You know how million? Wait, 200 for Partey, 200 for Partey, 110 or 120 for Tomiyasu. That's three with something. Tierney is about 120 if I'm not mistaken. So that's 430. Jesus is on 245. We all know that. That's 575. And the last one I forgot. Who is the last one I forgot? Jesus, Partey, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, 150. That's what? 6, 7? Yeah, that's about 800 grand a week we pay to injury-prone players who don't kick the ball for Arsenal. Whatsoever, pretty much. For the longest time. That is actually kind of nuts. And let's be real, Tierney isn't even injury-prone. He's been less injured than all of these guys compared to the time he has spent at Arsenal. That's how well it is. Anyways, moving strictly on for a second, Rio Ferdinand, has spoken on Miles Lewis Skelly's celebration. The humble celebration with Manchester City when he did the Haaland, basically, right? And he basically, what Rio Ferdinand said was, let the kids come out and express themselves. That's what we pay to see. And that's, to be honest, 100% true. The football these days is so robotic, so systemized, that it takes out the human emotion from the game almost completely. If you think about it, VAR has taken about the player and fans' emotions from celebrating the goal instantly about 60-70% of the time. Oh, if it's not offside, if someone's leg hair is not offside and all that stuff. Then you cannot talk to refs anymore, obviously, because even if you look at the ref wrong, it's a yellow. If you protest with the ref, that is a red. And if you do something else, you might get even fined by the FA or someone else, like Arsenal have been done just recently over Miles Lewis Skelly and everything. So basically, what football has done in the last 5-6 years has, to some extent, almost completely taken out human emotion out of the game. And that is the worst part that can happen to a game. Because the world in general is getting more and more computerized, it's getting more and more AI based, and it's taking more and more out emotions and social aspect of the game, of the world. And now it's happening as well to the football. Football was one of those places, sports in general is one of those places where human emotions had no, basically, they were not hamstrung to any way. They were allowed to express themselves, they were allowed to be who they are, but slowly but steadily, it has gone basically down the drain. Emotions you cannot celebrate, you cannot argue, you cannot be yourself basically on the pitch. You cannot show some spunk, you cannot show any attitude, you cannot show any chest and be someone who you want to be. There is no personality. Football, in terms on every single way, shape, or form, is going in that direction, and that is the worst part. That is the worst part. Half, biggest part of the young people these days, right? It sounds mad when I say this, young people, but it is what it is. They don't even want to talk on phones anymore. They don't want to even socially interact face to face with other people. They get shy, awkward, no social skills, no nothing. They much rather text or send an email or do something like that. They don't know. They are afraid to go up to another person and ask what the fucking time it is. I deal with that almost every single day, by the way, because it is what it is. I see that on the day in life every single day. Back in my day, as wild as it sounds, we had no phones. I had no phones. I had nothing. I didn't even have a computer. I didn't even have cable. I had TV with 3 channels. And I went out, talked to every single kid. I played with every single kid. We played football. We played chasing games and everything. We just talked. We interacted. And that is one of the best things. These days, you cannot do any of that. They are afraid, genuinely. It's so socially awkward. It's actually nuts. It is actually nuts. And now the AI is taking over, which means that that's the social aspect of humanization will come even less significant. Let's be real. AI is taking over jobs already, and it's gonna get even more, or they're gonna take jobs even more and more over, which is gonna be even worse and worse gonna get. Let's be real. And now it's taking over sports as well at the same time. It's taking over sports as well. Slowly but steadily. I get, for example, that you use VAR to determine red card decisions, for example. Very questionable calls and stuff like that. But there should be something, basically, in the rules that, for example, if a player is legitimately 1 arm hair offside, you should give the advantage to the attacker, like Arsene Wenger wanted to do. Because nobody in real life can say that. If it's a proper offside, okay, it's proper offside. If you are 1 leg offside, it is offside, right? But overall, to basically take any aspect of the game that gives you excitement, controversy, and everything, it's actually nuts. Because back in the day, the controversy was the ref didn't see someone's leg offside. Because social media wasn't as much, it wasn't talked about it as much. It was in the papers and everything on occasions, right? These days, the controversy is not about the person being offside. It's about the VAR getting the decision or the referee getting the decision wrong. And the worst part is they get the decision wrong and it's not being even corrected. And it stays the same way. It stays the same way. Because it's not offside, but VAR checks it and it still says it's offside. It's not offside. It is offside. VAR checks it and it says it's not offside. When everyone that has 2 eyes, 2 goddamn eyes. Obviously, I don't see excellently, but even without my glasses on the screen, when I see the line, I can see that it's not offside. Yet they give it offside. They don't correct the decision. It's actually insane. They do everything to create controversy now, just on different level, different aspects and different level. If it was the wrong decisions by linesmen, right, or referees at the time when they cannot physically see everything on the pitch, now it's about the referees making, to some extent, it feels like wrong decisions on purpose just to cause the controversy at the end of the day. Yeah, football has become AI. That's basically what it's going to. I get the offsides, I get stuff like that, but to some extent, we are lucky to remember the old as it was just ending. The early 2000s was the last time this was. Yeah, that is the case. 1990s, early 2000s was the prime time because there was no big AI influence. Internet was only just in developing stages, and the computers as well were just slowly becoming a thing in development stages, same as mobile phones. They were not there. They were there, obviously, but let's be real. When you have a mobile phone of this size, right, nobody's gonna do anything. These days, on your mobile phone, you can do everything besides print out a document. That's about it. That's the only thing you cannot do on your phone. Now you can see when you go on the street, everyone's sitting on the phone and just, they're lucky they don't run into a stop on a pole in between on the street which says stop for the cars. They're lucky if that doesn't happen. Like now, and it's insane. Then you look at when in 2005 or 2006 the first iPhone came out, right? And now fast forward 20 years, look where it has gotten us. It had about 20 apps at the time. all of them were useless. You could calculate time and everything. It was what it was. These days, you can even check your blood pressure on your phone. It comes back to sport in its purest form. Exactly, sport should be an entertainment, which at the end of the game leaves you basically filled with emotions. Either it's very fulfilling, where it's uplifting, or it's very, sad at the time, as it was back in the day. It is what it is. It was about the game. These days, more often than not, you go away from the game pissed off at the referee and VARs because you have idiots in charge that cannot get the right decisions. When everyone can check every single decision made, even on the phone as the game is going live, and see if it's offside or not, whether it's a red card tackle or not. And it feels like they do it on purpose just to have more eyes on the league, on the game and everything, just so they have basically the TV rights just can skyrocket at the end of the day. It's all about the money at the end of the day, let's be real. Anyhow, I think Rio Ferdinand here said a massive fact, because when Haaland throws the ball at Gabriel, everyone says, ha ha ha, banter, ha ha, that's what you want from a derby and crap like that. When Haaland says stay humble to Mikel Arteta, or to be honest, Arteta should, but that's a different point. Or he says to Skelly, who the F are you, right? That's all banter. When Haaland says that to an 18-year-old kid, but when the kid claps back at him, oh, it's the end of the world, that's disrespectful, he cannot do that, that's genuinely abysmal, no respect, instantly. It's basically pick your poison, vice versa. You either pick one side or the other. You cannot have anything, basically, these days. It gets totally just excluded from the game, the human aspect, the emotions and feelings and everything. Speaking of Miles Lewis Skelly, by the way, it looks like he's gonna get called up to the England squad for the March games against Latvia and I don't remember the other team. I just know that it's Latvia because that's where I'm from. We're gonna play England. Have mercy on my soul. So yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. That is that. Now, we're gonna look at some other things. Obviously, don't want to talk about everything because I need some stuff to talk about also this evening. But so you are not getting clickbaited at the end of the day about certain aspects of the game. This is what was posted today. This is what was posted basically not today, yesterday. Arsenal finances were posted. Basically, that's what it is. Arsenal finances were posted for the year that ended on May 2024. Basically, a season. This is what got posted. Arsenal have announced a loss on only 17.7 million, down from 52.1 million. So 3 times almost less loss. To be honest, given the fact how much merch we push out, that we have pushed out about 16-17 times of merch this season alone, it's gonna be even better. Revenue was a record high at 616.6 million, up from 466.7 million. That's 150 million increase in revenue. 150 million, by the way. 150 million. Holy fuck. Matchday revenue increased by 29 million. 29, lol. From 131 from 102. Broadcast revenues increased by 71 million as well. Commercial revenues increased by 59 million. Player trading profits went up to 52 million from 12.2 million. 4 times more. 4.5 times almost. And of course, all of this basically meant that also wages jumped up. Jumped to 327.8 million from 234.8. Nearly 100 million increase in wages. And that is one of the biggest issues. But to be honest, looking at the revenue, how exponentially it has increased from the year of 23 to 24, right? It pisses me off even more that we genuinely are doing nothing in the transfer windows. We are not signing, we are not selling, we are not in for anyone, and we are basically trying to haggle over bargain bucket deals at the end of the day. That's what it feels like. Because how can you make 150 million revenue and to get from matchday every single revenue you get profits overall at the end of the season that increases by about 18, 7, 19%, and then you don't put it to good use in the transfer market? This is what pisses me off at the end of the day. We record profits, record revenues, commercial deals, everything. Every single thing skyrockets. Obviously, wages increase as well. But we just don't do anything about it. It basically goes to Kroenke's pockets at the end of the day. Let's be real. Obviously, it goes also to stadium maintenance, travels, and all that crap. But overall, it all goes into Kroenke's pockets, KSC pockets. That is the big issue. And the wage structure as well at Arsenal is embarrassing. Let's be real. We have 3 players under 100 grand a week that are owned by Arsenal. 3 players under 100 grand a week. 3 only. Think about it. 3 players only. And 2 of them are Skelly and Nwaneri. One of them is on 6,000 a week, one of them on 5,000 a week. I think there's one more who is on 90, and rest of them are 100 or above. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. How can this club, top 3 club in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world, who is in Champions League going for titles, have Conference League level players, Championship level players on Champions League World Cup salaries, world-class salaries? Where does that make sense? Look, our wages have jumped 100 million by 100 million in 1 year. It says it all, doesn't it? Our average wage bill is one of the biggest you can imagine in England and in Premier League. It's embarrassing. Comparatively to other teams, the big teams specifically, like United and everything, not maybe United's, but City's, Liverpool's, they have gradual increase of the salary. Let's just say it goes from 63 to 50 to 70 to 76 to 80 to 81 to 89 to 92 and everything. Arsenal have 90 and instantly whoop, 100, 150, 120 and everything. It's actually insane because look at this. I want to show you this because the salary is actually kind of insane. Let's look at the salary, basically how it's in Arsenal. Here we go. Salaries at Arsenal. I'm gonna move the screen, don't worry, you're gonna see this properly, don't worry guys. Here it is. I'm gonna move myself to the left a bit from my own point of view, and here it is. As you can see, we have 2 players on 90, Kivior's on 58, that's a bit that one. But look, Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly, arguably 2 of the best players in Arsenal's squad at the moment, combined 10 grand a week. They should get an increase, let's be real. But Kivior is on 58 grand a week, Trossard is on 90, his contract is gonna get renegotiated with a substantial salary increase, which has been reported, and it's in terms of that's gonna happen. Timber, Tomiyasu is on 100 bags a week. He hasn't played, and he's not gonna play for a year and a half, by the way, and he's gonna earn, what? 7.8 million. He's gonna earn 7.8 million for not playing a year and a half, basically. David Raya is on 100. Gabriel Magalhaes, arguably top 3 player in the club, who should be our captain, is on 100 grand a week. Comparatively to Gabriel Martinelli, who's on 180. That is insane. Jesus is on 265. One of the best players in the club has more than 2 times less salary than Jesus. That is insane. Tierney is on 110. Calafiori is on 120. Why? Merino is on 130. Why? What has he done? Zinchenko is on 150. Why the hell is on that much? Ben White, 150. Okay, I get that. Gabriel Martinelli, 180. Why? As you can see, it basically, we have 3 players under 100, and every single one is on 100 bags a week or more. And then, of course, Kai Havertz is on 280, by the way. 280 bags a week. Now, for the sake of an argument, let's look at Liverpool, the team we are going up against. Because that is the biggest issue at Arsenal. Look at the salaries. Curtis Jones, 15 grand. Konsa, 30 grand. Elliot, 40. Endo, 50. Luis Diaz is on 55,000 a week. Konate is on 70. Joe Gomez, 85. Szoboszlai, 120. See, you have Salah and Van Dijk, only 2 above 200. Salah is on 350, and to be honest, rightly so. Van Dijk is on 220. And let's be real, rightly so. Next one is Trent on 180. Trent Alexander-Arnold at Liverpool is getting paid less than Gabriel Martinelli at Arsenal. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, by the way. How does that make any sense? Alisson is on the same money as Zinchenko, for example. Ibrahima Konate gets less money than Tomiyasu. Luis Diaz gets less money than Kivior, you know? How does that make any sense in this club whatsoever? And as you can see here, there is gradual growth in salary, not two players and then boom, everyone's up in stratosphere instantly. And look, average weekly salary at Liverpool is 99,000 a week. Weekly payroll is 2.47 million. If we look at Arsenal, 2.47 million, remember that number. Arsenal pay 3.3 million. 700 grand more in weekly payroll. Arsenal play more than Liverpool. Average weekly salary at Arsenal is 30,000 more. Make it make sense. This club is overpaying. Where is the other one? Manchester City. Same instance same thing as Arsenal. The same thing as Liverpool. See? Gradual growth of salary. Some of the biggest guys are on big money. Marmoush is the odd one out, right? But let's be real. Savio, 40. Rico Lewis, 25. Kusanov, 20. Makazi, 15. Echeverri, 15. Look, Oscar Bob is on 50. Doku, 50. Ederson is on 100 grand. Obviously, there most likely are bonuses. But look, Nathan, Ruben Dias is getting the same amount of money as Martinelli. Rodri is on 220. Rodri gets paid less than Odegaard, than Jesus, and then Kai Havertz, for example. And if you look, there's Haaland up top, let's be real, rightly so. But there's De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, both on big wages. But the thing is, that's Kevin De Bruyne and that's Bernardo Silva. If they decide to get rid of them, right? Get rid of them, sell them, or even let them go on free, which obviously they won't do, they instantly get nearly 1 million of the wages. Nearly 1 million of their wages. Think about it that way. And still, by the way, average weekly salary less than Arsenal's. These wages are a joke. We are not a serious club. Wait, who is the another big team we can look at? wanna look at Nottingham Forest? Because Nottingham Forest are third in the table, right? Nottingham Forest wages. They pay 2.5 times less in wages weekly, and their weekly payroll is 3 times less than Arsenal's. Their biggest earner in the team is Nikola Milenkovic, the center back, 105 grand a week. Chris Wood is on 90. He gets paid the same amount as Trossard. Hudson-Odoi, 80. Gibbs-White, 80. Ola Aina is on 40 grand a week. Chelsea, okay, big up. Big up. You want to look at Chelsea, keep it fair. Okay, Chelsea, okay. Chelsea's wage structure. They pay... See? Okay, they have about 1 million players, first of all, but still. They have Nkunku, okay, cool, Neto, 160. Moise Caicedo, 150. But again, they have gradual growth. Lavia is on 45. Gusto is on 45. Yes, it's a death sentence, 7-8 year deals, but still. Disasi is on 40 out on loan. Madueke is on 50. Chalobah is on 50. Guiu is on 50. Sanchez is on 60. João Felix is out on loan. Doesn't count. Kepa as well. Dewsbury, Badiashile. Lil Colville is on 100. Ben Chilwell, 100. Jadon Sancho on 100. Mudryk is on 100. Nicholas Jackson is on 100. Still, it looks better than Arsenal's. Yes, Sterling, that's a bit of a rough one, I'm not gonna lie, but hey. Pedro Neto is on 160. He gets less money than Martinelli. He gets less money by 100 grand than Jesus, for example. Caicedo gets paid the same amount of money as Zinchenko. Let's just question for you, lot. Who would you rather have in your midfield, Zinchenko or Moise Caicedo, for example? 100% y'all gonna say Moise Caicedo. Cole Palmer is on 130 grand a week. 130 grand a week. 130 grand a week. He gets paid less than Zinchenko. He gets paid less than who else is there? Of course, Martinelli, Merino. He gets paid the same amount as Calafiori. By the way, just saying it, just putting it out there. Yeah, Chelsea are a mess, but hey, it is what it is. What else is there? How does Spurs look, knowing how they pay wages and everything? How do Spurs look in this comparison? They pay 2 times less in average weekly, and they pay 1.3 million less in weekly payroll. Spurs wage structure as well. Heung-min Son 190, totally deserved. I totally get that. Werner on loan, if I'm not mistaken, right? Romero 165, Kulusevski 110. Rest of them are basically getting peanuts compared to Arsenal. Let's just say it as it is. Van de Ven is on 50 grand a week. He gets paid less than Jakub Kiwior, by the way. Genuinely, Van de Ven gets paid less than Jakub Kiwior. That's how well it is. Yeah, you are cheap as hell. Yeah, that's true. Like a mid-side, basically mid-table team. But let's be real. Heung-min Son gets paid 190. He deserves that. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's be real. James Maddison 170. If he wasn't injury prone, I totally could get behind that. Romero, arguably your best defender with Van de Ven, but hey. Kulusevski is carrying your team to some extent many times, 110 as well. See, for example, Dragushin gets paid more than Van de Ven. Why? Like, seriously, why? Why is Archie Gray on 75 grand a week? Why the actual F is Archie Gray on 75 grand a week? What has he done at Spurs to deserve that type of a contract? Like, seriously, 75 grand a week. What has he done? He gets the same amount as Bentancur. He gets less than Davies, same amount as Udogi. Like, what has he done at the club to deserve that? I'm not gonna kid you not. Like, it makes no sense. Genuinely no sense. Which big... Oh, let's look at this mess. Let's look at this mess, because they will be... They paid almost the same amount in weekly payrolls. Look at United. Look at United. Casemiro still there, 350. Bruno Fernandes, 300. Mason Mount, 250. De Ligt, 195. Okay, United are a mess. Let's just put it that way. United are a mess. It's English tax, young player tax. We need to be putting Wanyeri on that soon if we want to. To be honest, we will put Wanyeri, I think, on about 60, 70 bags a week. I think so. And I think he also deserves that, just like Miles Lewis-Skelly. Strongly believe that. I'm not gonna lie. Wait. Let's look at... Real Madrid. Let's look at Real Madrid. Just for the sake of an argument, one of the biggest clubs in the world. If not, no, the biggest club in the world. Holy crap. It could happen. We could lose him to a bigger club, potentially, but I doubt that. I really doubt that. It's too soon for him. He hasn't established himself. Miles Lewis-Skelly, that I can see. That's the biggest issue. Although they both are Arsenal more or less through and through. So I think there will be some sort of level of respect and loyalty. I think so. It's not going to be like Chidobe Martin or someone like that. Look. Look. Vinicius is on 400 grand. Well, that's euros, by the way, not even pounds. Can I change it to euros here, by the way? Pounds, sorry. I can. Oh, no, I can. Yes, let's go. British pounds. Here we go. Here we go. British pounds, so we can something to compare it by. Vinicius gets 333,000. I think deserved, same as Jude. Valverde gets paid less than 29, by the way, than Havertz. Courtois gets paid less than Havertz and Jesus. Same goes for Rudiger, same goes for Militao, Rodrigo. Rodrigo gets, and Tchouameni get paid same amount as Thomas Partey, by the way. Dani Ceballos, he's balling it, not gonna lie for them. Look, Look. Wow, Arda Güler is on 83 grand. That's actually kind of nuts. But to be honest, Real Madrid can pay that. They're the biggest club in the world. They have the record revenues and everything. I think Real Madrid in that regard can afford it. They're serial winners. They pretty much guarantee trophies. And when you get trophies, you kind of can afford to ask for bigger amounts of money. That's how I see it. If you have merit by your name, if you have backing for your name with trophies and everything, I think it is... rightly so that you ask for a bigger amount in salary. That's how I see it. Let's just put it that way. Arsenal, PSV, and everything. Oh, this one. Yeah, this is the one we want to see. Arsenal had a record level revenue in the last financial year, bringing 600 increase from the... Look at that smug face. Look at that smug face. How much will Saliba be getting at Real Madrid? He'll be the... He could be getting about 300 grand a week easily at Real Madrid, because Saliba at the moment, how much was Saliba on? I think it was 180, wasn't it? I think it was 180 at Arsenal. Saliba at Arsenal is getting 190 grand a week, 190 a week he's getting. So I think if he moves, he might be getting about 280 to 300 grand a week easily. Especially that he could be one of the main guys with all the ACL injuries, since they want to get rid of Militao potentially. Alaba is old, Rudiger is old. They don't have many center backs. Asensio, the youngster, is generally like mini Ramos. He plays so good. He's such a talent. He could be gone this summer, yeah. I totally see that. But look at this smug face, Stan Kroenke. Look, extra 150 million. Arsenal don't have debt. It's 17.7 million in debt. That's actually nothing for terms of Arsenal. Profit losses. That's actually not that bad. 3 times the less than the year before. I think next year Arsenal will record about 30, 35 million in profit in the calendar year, given the amount of merch we are pushing out, the TV and all the revenues we are getting, and new contracts we are signing for commercial deals. I strongly believe that we will end with profits, not negative numbers after the season. Kind of get the feeling in that regard. But yeah, I think on that note, I'm gonna end tomorrow's stream. Again, I'm very, very sorry I didn't stream yesterday, but obviously family always comes first for me, and health as well. So if you haven't already, smash the like. Caressa destroyed, costs nothing, it's all fine and dandy. Definitely helps the algorithm and everything. Subscribe if you're new around here. Leave your thoughts down in the live chat or in comments below. Have a nice day. See you this evening, hopefully, depending on the situation. See you this evening. Take care. Stay safe. And peace.